Hi everyone, this is Deborah. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully you're having a good day. Yesterday was not a very good day for me for lots of reasons, but I've decided to write a book about my life, and I have almost finished the first chapter, and I would like to share it with you. This is the early years. So depending on how much interest I have about this is whether or not I go on it. So let's get right to it. Okay. The early years. The whippoorwill sounds coming in through the old farmhouse windows will decades later be a place of solace for me. The lightning bugs flicker in the moonlight like magical Christmas lights. Winchester is home to my parents and my two younger sisters. My daddy, a striking, handsome man with a likeness to Elvis Presley, was working in Fairfax, Virginia on most days doing ceramic tile work and would try to come home on the weekends. Mother was soon to become angry with this setup. We had no phone and no car, no electricity. My mother loved to talk on the phone for hours. This is much later in my life. To this day, I hate to talk on the phone. Later on, this would be many arguments about our phone bills. It soon would take every dime of my father's Social Security. This is before they got regulated. Okay. I was introduced at an early age to fights in the kitchen that would escalate to shouting and coffee cups whizzing across the kitchen. I could tell that there were undercurrents of mistrust on her part as to what my daddy was up to. I'm sure my mom had self-esteem issues since she was always a little plump. She never wore makeup or cared for a designer wardrobe. She had other priorities like cutting firewood for our wood stove, milking the cow that seemed to get great delight in kicking her. I still remember the black and blue bruises all over her legs. Many days I would see her grab a .22 in the middle of the night to shoot the latest varmint in the rabbit pen or chicken coop. Rarely did we go to town to get groceries because we had a garden full of vegetables and chickens and rabbits. I realize now that the milk she was getting from the mean cow was our source of vitamin D. I don't remember if she boiled it to pasteurize it or if we drank it straight from the cow. In order for my mother to get us ready for school, she had to get a blazing fire going in the wood stove to cook us eggs and oatmeal. There was always a huge pot of water on the stove to pour into a large galvanized tub for me and my sisters to bathe in. This was before my brother and my little sister was born. My sister Bonnie was nothing like me. She was blonde with blue eyes. I, on the other hand, was a brunette with brown eyes. I was very independent, which gave me the ability to do things that Bonnie was not allowed to do. I am sure this would show up later in our teen years as jealousy. She would often hold her breath when she didn't get her way. My mother would have to hold her over the sink to get her to breathe again. The farmhouse was a 2-story timber framed house with a porch on the front. It had a cement slab by the back door that came in handy when we were cracking black walnuts. The farm also had a huge barn and several outbuildings, one for the rabbits and one for the chickens. The farmhouse was close to the road with a circle driveway. Across the road was a small pond with cattails. There were no neighbors, only within a mile-long walk. Before we moved into the farmhouse, our trailer was parked to the side that we lived in while we lived in Manassas. That doesn't make any sense. Let's just do that again. Before we moved into the farmhouse, our trailer was parked to the side of the farmhouse, and we had lived in this trailer when we were living in Manassas too. Okay. Near the drive-in theater. We were completely isolated. One day, my mother and I were on the bed gluing green stamps in the book in order to get free gifts. My mother all of a sudden got up and whisked me and my other two sisters in the bathroom. She motioned to me to keep them absolutely quiet. Since I was the oldest, I knew this was serious. I calmed my sisters down by not showing too much emotion. Then I heard what my mother had heard, knocking and more knocking, which turned into an aggressive pounding on the door. Since we owned 350 acres, they were always hunters on the property. The pounding went on what seemed like forever. I have never been that scared in my life. I can't imagine how scared and frightened my mom was. She knew how to use a gun for sure. I believe this was the first time I had ever prayed in my life. Okay, I will stop there. So you'll give me some feedback, see if you all would be interested in me going any further with this project. Okay. As you could tell, I'm a country girl. All right, bye.